Okay, so now, welcome, Lisa!
Thank you so much. Oh, this is going to be such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for inviting me.
I am so excited. My name is Kiko. I have been on the fully raw vegan, well, high raw vegan diet for the over 20 years. And Lisa, my I am so honored to have her here today. And we are sharing today. We are gonna go deep dive into one of the books that she contributed to Plant-Based Bundle, which is on sale now. And the total contribution with Lisa and Nate, her husband, is 5, right?
Um,
More than that.
no, I think we have 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 things in there. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So we've
amazing.
got the Align and Awaken Affirmation Meditation Challenge. We have my brand new sushi ebook. His brand new, oh, look at the balloons.
Oh, yay!
um, his brand new smoothie ebook, his brand new crackers ebook, the brand new ebook I wrote with Chef AJ, Make It Raw 4. And then I also included Building a Healthy Relationship with Food, which is an informational ebook. The next 3 are informational. We've got that one, 52 to a New You, which is a raw vegan transition guide. And there's 47 recipes in there as well. And the last one is how to build a variety salad and an epic dressing on your own. Like, it's not a recipe book. It shows you kind of like, it's like a choose your own adventure
Mhm.
style of a book. So yeah, we got 8 things in there valued at over $350.
That's crazy. And I think 5 books were new release for this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
5 of
just
them. I know.
that's just crazy.
We make so many new things. And yeah, so the affirmation challenge was released in March with Nate's smoothie ebook. And then for May, we had the sushi ebook, his cracker ebook, and Make It Raw 4. So all 5 of them are currently in the plant-based bundle. For those who may have missed previous bundles, you get them all in this one, which is really cool. Because
Yeah.
we did have people miss them, they're like, oh, I missed the bundle, or they're new followers, like, hi, if you're new here. Like, so these are great opportunities for people to get so much new content for $50. Like, it's it's like a great deal.
It's incredible, incredible. And I was so excited to go through this affirmation meditation, which is one of your contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, I love, love, love it.
Oh.
It's last live when we were doing the raw vegan bundle, I
Mm-hmm.
said, Lisa, there must be 100 Lisa at least out there to do what she's doing. And I said, no, actually, what she has is more than 100 angels behind her
Oh.
to, they are guiding you. I mean, I'm so grateful and honored to connect with you. So, today I would like to go deeper on this affirmation meditation. Why you decided to do this? What sparked you to go on this big project?
Oh, great question. So okay, I have always been a fan of affirmations and I've used them in my life for a long time. And one of the biggest things that really changed for me was when I first went raw, every single morning I would wake up and I would tell myself, today I'm a raw vegan, or today I choose raw food. And then I would just focus on today. And I said it so many times that I just became that. And that was just what I did. And I'm like, the power of affirmations are so incredible, but we don't usually use them, as regular as we should to actually get the power from them. We'll put a little sticky note on our mirror and it'll say, you are beautiful. But, it gets lost in the environment and we don't see it after a week or 2 or 3. And, all of a sudden it's been 6 months and you're like, oh yeah, that sticky note on my mirror, you don't notice it all the time. So it's not just a practice of saying it, but it's a practice of being consistent. So I wanted to help people to become more consistent with it. And the reason why I created this challenge was because we have a school community. It's the Raw Food Romance School Community. And every single month we have a monthly challenge together that we all do. Like, in May, everyone was going to aim to do 10,000 steps. And then in October, we did a salad a day. In March, it was a sleep challenge, trying, implementing different things every day to try and get your sleep more on point. So we do different things every month. And for February, I wanted to do a meditation challenge. And my original goal was to have 35-minute videos, just like simple, super fast ones, maybe like 10 affirmations each one. And then I started writing it and I started building it. And I'm like, I can't do 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes is not enough. And I had like so many ideas for affirmations. And then it kind of built itself. Like you said, there's angels, they're like building this stuff for me. I'm just the vehicle that it comes through. And there was like, there was breath work, and then there was visualization, and then I was like, oh, now I have to like get them into a calm place. So I had to add that in the beginning to every video as well. So that was how I kind of came to be creating this. It was for the community, and I released it in the community before I released it publicly. So everybody in the community got a new meditation video every day. They're like between 20 some and like 30 minutes long, each one. And it took a long time to film all of those. It was a lot of work to do like I said, it was the biggest project that I've ever created. And so, yeah, everybody who was in there was like, they'd noticed their sleep improving. They'd noticed they were more empowered. And over the 30 days, you say 3,000 positive affirmations to yourself. If you listen to all of them, it's incredible. So I was really happy to be able to create that for everybody.
That's amazing, Lisa. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my God, I thought the sushi book of 160 recipe was the biggest project, but yet another. So let's just not try to understand what Lisa does. She's got millions of angels helping her. And I do think one of the key, as you said, I love you share this quite a few times. Today, I'm a raw vegan. And you just affirm yourself every day that you just became, fully raw vegan for now, how many years?
It'll be 11 years in September.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And this was not, one shot. You had some trials and errors to get to that point. But would you say that affirmation helped you to stick for fully raw?
Yes. That affirmation, that one, just that easy, super simple one, today I'm a raw vegan, that was like one of the absolute keys to me continuing to choose raw. Because in the beginning, it's not your habit yet, right? You have all these past habits that you've built over the last decade or 2 or 3 or 4, like you have all these habits that are so ingrained, and these belief systems that are so ingrained that it doesn't take a week or a month, or even for some people, even a year. You have to be so consistent with it to change those habits. And, every time that I would say that to myself, it was a new day. It was a new chance to be who I truly wanted to be. And I started to expand into other things like, like I am beautiful, I am strong, I enjoy working out. That's one that I'm like still working on. But like and now when I'm doing something that I'm challenged with, like a new habit, for example, for me, it's always been exercise. Exercise has always been one of those things that I'm challenged with, because I'll get really excited, really motivated, and I'll do it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I don't do anything for months, So I know the value of exercise, and I want to have that more in my life. And right now I've been really consistent with walking, so that's been really good. But every single time that I am walking, even if it's I mean, we're in Vegas here. It's like, I don't know if you do Celsius or Fahrenheit, but it's like 42 Celsius or like 106, here now. And it's only June. It's only going to get hotter. But, when it's hot, when I'm tired, I have a blister on my foot, maybe I'm hungry, or, like I want to get back because I have other things to do. I'm out too long or whatever. I'll be walking and I'll just tell myself, I love walking. I
Mhm.
love this. Like I put myself in this situation so I can feel all these things that I'm not a fan of because I like the result. I enjoy how I
Mhm.
feel because now like I feel so good getting over I mean lately I've been getting over 15,000 steps a day. So, it's like 2 hours of walking a day. Because Nate's not here. And I've got like time to fill while I wait for him to come home. So I'm like spending a little extra time outside. But all that said, I tell myself every time while I'm doing it, even if I'm uncomfortable, I say, I love this. And I do that when I'm chopping my vegetables for a salad. Say I had a really long day and I just don't feel like making dinner. I'm like, I'm gonna be happy that I did, obviously, I'm gonna have a nice big
Mhm.
salad. And I think of the after, like, how am I gonna feel when I
Mhm.
have the salad done? And I'm sitting down eating it and it's all hydrating. It's wonderfully delicious. I'm going to be so happy that I made that salad. So I use that as motivation. But while I'm chopping, I'll say, I love chopping my vegetables. And I do these positive affirmations because while I'm doing it, it's more powerful, I feel, because you're in the action of doing it. So then it reinforces that belief that you love chopping vegetables. So the more you say it to yourself, the more you enjoy it, the more you believe it, the more you're going to do it naturally. So it's really all about being super consistent. And if people need to set alarms in their phones to remind them to do the thing, but you have to show up for yourself too, right? When the alarm goes off, you got to do the thing. So,
Hmm. Oh my God, there's so many gold nuggets you just threw everywhere. I love
oh,
it. But so that first affirmation of today, I'm a raw vegan. How long did you say to yourself every morning? How long did it take for you to say, okay, I'm good. I don't have to say that anymore?
you know, I don't even really know like when that would have been. I want to say it was probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years in. I still say it sometimes. It's like, it's so automatic now. Like sometimes I'll wake up and that thought will just pop into my head because I've said it so many times to myself over the years that it's kind of an automatic thing. I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh, today I'm raw, and it's just such a natural thing that I think. But it took so long for it to become a thing,
Mhm.
and I did it pretty much daily for, I'm gonna say, like a year and a half to 2 years. And then,
Mhm.
like I started tapering off, like not thinking of it all the time because now raw was my solid habit. Like it was my reality and I didn't really have to think about it. But I would every once in a while wake up and think those words
Mhm.
because it was just so natural.
Right. So why did you focus on that? So I love affirmation and it works amazing for me as well. And I'm curious to know why you focus on I am a raw vegan instead of I'm a healthy, vibrant being.
Mm. That's a great question. I think, that's a really good question. At the time, that was really what came to me because I really wanted to stick to raw. I had never done like a whole food plant-based thing or high raw or anything like that. I always really resonated with raw, so I was like, I just want to choose raw food. So that's kind of where I defaulted to.
Mhm.
And then, over the last couple of years, I would say I've incorporated a lot more of those kinds of affirmations, like more broader ones that are, like I'm a healthy, vibrant being. I love
Mhm.
meditation. I enjoy, the hobbies that I love, or anything like that. Like it's just things that I want to believe about myself. Because even with the painting, like I started watercolor painting just a
Yes.
little while ago, and when I'm painting, I'm thinking the same thing too. I'm like, I love this. I love painting. I am an artist and I need to express myself. And I say those things to myself as well because it motivates me to keep doing the paintings
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say in the last couple of years, I've really kind of opened up like the range of affirmations that I have for myself.
Mhm.
And when Nate and I would say like maybe 5 years ago or so. It was about a year into our marriage. We started doing the 5 a.m. club. And we fall on and off the 5 a.m. thing, but for a while we were doing it every day. We would wake up and then we would have 5 affirmations that we would say to ourselves, like I am strong, I am worthy, or I am good enough. That's one that I always struggle with a lot, is being good enough. So that's one that I kind of work on a lot, is feeling I'm
Mm,
good enough. Like, not just a good enough person in general, but like I'm good enough,
mm,
all of these other things that we want to be good enough in. So there's that. What else I would say? Like, yeah, I'm, wealthy and healthy and vibrant and all these, the typical ones. But in
mm,
the affirmation meditation challenge, there's 3,000 affirmations. So I know like everybody's going to have different kind of electric magnetic towards specific days. For example, my favorite day is day 17, thinking of the future you. And I also have some affirmations that are like, I love the future version of myself. I do this because I love who I will become and things like that. That's really helpful. But yeah, day 17 is my favorite. But, there's also, I noticed in the community, there was a lot of people who were like, this day was really challenging for me, like specific days. They were like, this was really hard for me to listen to these affirmations because I don't believe that about myself. So they're like, now I know that that
mm.
is a day that I need to listen to more often because I don't believe these things about myself, but I want to. So, some are going to be easy, some are going to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, thank you. And you've mentioned about Nate, and you've done this 5 a.m. club. And I love this partner, sort of like a accountability partner. You just happen to have a perfect husband who can do it. And with my husband as well, we do this quite often. Accountability, and all, we said, oh, why don't we, do this affirmation? Sometimes we would write it down or record our voice on
Mhm.
we achieve, and it's amazing. Like, it just shifts the energy. And
Mhm.
because I've done it by myself on writing out and you know also recording, that's why I have another level of respect and appreciation for you to go through this huge project, because just choosing the right words, right.
Mhm.
You have 30 days, so every day it's just it's abundance of information, but really
Mhm.
well organized. And not only that, this exercise, you ask, you start with the breathing technique, and then you ask us to close your eyes, but there's a video still. And sometimes I like to just watch the background video, and it's so beautiful, like every one of them.
Mhm.
And I'm just so grateful, and that you have put so much effort and love towards it. You could never get bored of it. Like this morning, I like doing it during the day or before going to sleep or sometime in the morning. But this morning I decided to do it while I'm preparing my breakfast. And
Hmm.
it's just so lovely. Lisa has been my best friend without you knowing me. Without you knowing me, I have been following you on YouTube. And, in this time of the age, we are sort of in a state of flight, or
Mhm.
what it's
Yeah.
we're scared, and we just want to jump, or, we just want to hide. And everyone needs Lisa. And
Oh.
Lisa is available free on YouTube, Instagram. She is so, she's very generous, and she gives
Mm.
out so much information for free. So I cannot imagine what you give in the private community, which I highly
Mm.
recommend for everyone to go through. Yeah, if you want to come.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I do put a lot of work into everything. I feel like that's like my whole life. But it's my passion and I love it and I love helping people. But yeah, we do daily posts in the community. We do monthly challenges. There's like new recipes that go up in there. It's a very kind of like exclusive private group. But yeah, anyone can join. Like you don't have to be a raw vegan to join. You just have to have a love of raw food and a desire to add more to your life and change your life too. It's not just about raw food. Like we did the May challenge was 10,000 steps a day and it really got people up and walking. And they're like, I loved that challenge because it wasn't just about the food. Like I would be like, oh yeah, post how many steps you did and share what salad you ate, or, like try to get people to share and actually participate in these challenges. So we do a new post every day, loaded with information. But yeah, I remember filming when you mentioned about the filming, how long it takes to do stuff. And those videos, so there's 30 of them and they're like 30 minutes each, but it took about an hour and a half to film each one because, if there was like a little sound or, a siren going off outside or the cat coming in and like meowing. I know there's one video where the cat meowed and I left it in there because it was so cute.
That's great. I can't wait.
But
I don't think I noticed it, but now that you mentioned, I'm gonna go back and search for it.
right, I don't know which one it is, but there's like a little tiny meow, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave that. But like if the cats they'd scratch at the door because what I would do. So we have our closet where we keep all our clothes, and there's just enough room in there for a chair and a little table, and it's about, I don't know, like this big, like 2 feet by 2 feet, like a super tiny little table. I put my laptop on there and I had like a kind of like not a microphone but like a holder, and I would put my phone in it and I would just push record, and then I would sit there and I would talk into this phone, and anytime I'd have a mistake I'd stop it, rewind it, delete which I made a mistake, and then start it again. So each video took around roughly like an hour to an hour and a half to complete, just the audio. And then after that, then I added all of the video that I wanted to add to, certain ones, like the ones where it's like talking about how you love preparing your food, because that's something that people don't like doing. They don't want to prepare their food. They find it boring or hard or challenging. So we have a video for one of the days, which is falling in love with preparing your healthy food, right? So all the videos in that all have to do with food. Like there's fruits and veggies and all kinds of deliciousness on there. So yeah, I like that. There are so many people who are like, I had to watch it like once in the morning to watch the video, and then at night I would turn it on and I close my eyes because people wanted to watch all the videos because there's some really cool like shapes and all kinds of stuff on there. But also having it on before you go to bed, and if you fall asleep during it, some people feel like, oh, if I fall asleep then I'm not going to get the benefits. You actually do get the benefits when you listen to it when you're sleeping. So for people who are like, I don't have time to do these affirmations, you do. Just put it on before you go to bed and then just fall asleep to it. Because once you get, even if you pass the breathing thing and you just fall asleep in the visualization, once you get to the affirmations, you hear them, your brain hears them, and it almost embeds subconsciously. So you can still do them. Just put it on at night before you go to bed and fall asleep to them. And it's all about the consistency. So the more often you say positive things to yourself, the more often you believe them. But yeah, the filming was a lot of work. I remember sitting in there. I filmed it over, I would say about 5 or 6 days. It took me to film all 30 of those. And I remember after those 5 days, I was like, I am like the happiest I've ever been, because I just said 3,000 positive affirmations to myself, because it's said in the first person, like, I am this, or I believe this, or whatever. I'm like, I just sort of said 3,000 in like 5 days. I was so empowered. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, it was really fun to film all of those.
That's so beautiful. Everyone know how generous you are, and how gracious you are for all this, what you're sharing. And it's true that what you do give a lot, but you get so much back by giving a lot, isn't it? So yeah,
Yes.
that was actually one of the point that I wanted to touch on. What did you get out of from this huge project, So that's amazing that you have covered it. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover or on that?
Yeah, I really like hearing the stories of people who do them, who actually put the time in and actually go through
Mm,
every single one every day. And you know, I understand not everyone's going to be able to listen to every single one every single day, but it's really about that consistency. And when I released it in the community before I released it publicly, so many people were just like, I can't believe how my sleep has improved, how I feel better about myself in general.
mm,
Like they don't really have like a specific area, but just saying so many positive things to themselves, they just were more confident, they were
mm,
happier, and it was just like a natural progression that came from it. And that's what I get out of it because I really love seeing when people change and actually change for the positive and they're, you know, they
mm,
feel good about themselves. That's really what I want to share with the world, is to help build people's confidence.
mm,
And again, it's not just about the raw food, because raw food is great. You know, high raw,
mm,
whatever. The more raw food you add, the better. But I feel like so many people put so much emphasis on the diet, and it's like
mm,
the diet, the diet, the diet, the diet. And the diet is important. Like, don't get me wrong, diet is super important, but we neglect so many other areas of our life, especially when it comes to the mindset. Because
mm,
if you don't work on your core beliefs, then whatever you believe about a raw diet is going to make it challenging. Like if you believe you don't have time, then you're
mm,
not going to have time. If you believe that it's hard to chop vegetables and you know you're challenged in that department, then it's going to be hard to chop vegetables. If you
mm,
believe that you always fall off track and that you're never able to stick to it, then you're going to fall off track and you're not going to be able to stick to it,
mm,
because it's your core beliefs that matter the most. So when you start to change those, and it takes time, that's another reason why people don't put the work in, because it takes a long time for you to replace your old belief patterns.
mm,
But when you do put the time in, it's miraculous. Like it's
mm.
mind blowing. But it takes that patience, and most people don't have that patience. So that's another affirmation. I have patience.
Yes, so beautifully said. And it's so important to find your best friend or community. And
Mhm.
and what I did, because I didn't have any raw vegan friends or anyone who could be in tune with my vibe, or who I wanted to uh, look up to. I couldn't find
Mhm.
someone
Yeah.
nearby, so I find Lisa online. And I just listened to her YouTube,
Um,
and and this guided affirmation meditation is just so beautifully done. And I'm so again thankful for all your effort that you put into it. And I love this affirmation. Like, it's been part of my life, especially when I started this raw vegan journey over 20 years ago. I've noticed with this diet and this affirmation worked really, really well. It was like
mhm.
almost instantaneous. Like what I wanted, it just came so quickly to me. And but you have, like, I realized that I need to be mindful of my surroundings.
Mm,
And the news that we if you
yes.
open if you look at the TV, or public advertisement, it might not be something that it would uplift you. So we need to
Mhm.
be all mindful of positive affirmation that brings us up, and also the community that you surround yourself, right? So you might know the information, but if you don't act on it,
Mhm.
it's actually
Mhm.
same as not knowing the knowledge. So that's
Mhm.
why I love this concept of being in the community. Surround yourself with someone that you want to be. It's so important. And that's why I wanted to focus on this affirmation meditation that you have created, that just commit yourself. Yeah, today I'm listening to Lisa's guided meditation and see what it goes, because yeah, for some people it might be overwhelming to commit
Mhm.
to 1 week or even few days. So just committing with just one day, that might be the huge shift in a long term,
Mhm.
just as Lissa has mentioned 11 years ago. She's done I'm a raw vegan today. I love that
Yeah.
affirmation.
Yeah, even if it's just one thing, just one affirmation. Like and that's a cool thing about the affirmation meditation challenge is because there's 3,000. I mean, they're said different ways, you know, because some people resonate with a little different way of saying it. But for the most part, like maybe you're listening to one and you're like, that meditation or that affirmation was like so, it spoke to me. Like sometimes you'll hear one that just really jumps out and you're like, I love that one. You can pause it, like go back a little bit and write it down, and that can be your like main affirmation that you try to say to yourself every day. Or you can send yourself, like when you set an alarm in your phone, sometimes you can write a title to what the alarm is. You could write the affirmation on there, and then every day you get that alarm. Every day you're reminded to read it, and to say it to yourself, because again, it's the repetition. But yeah, sometimes starting as small as just one affirmation can be super powerful, because when you start to notice the benefits of that one, then you're like, well, what else can I believe about myself? What else can I change about myself? And it's really powerful.
It is, yes. So you've started affirmation meditation when? First,
Um,
you said that you have been this has been part of your life for a long time. When was it?
yeah, I would say probably in my early 20s. I don't know exactly when. I would say maybe in my, yeah, like 23, 24 in there. I was working in a natural health industry, so we were exposed to a lot of like natural stuff, and like other ideas like that with the affirmations, and the law of attraction kind of stuff was really big back then. So I was really into that kind of a thing. And I started to do some affirmations. Like I didn't stick to them, obviously, like most people. I would say stuff, and then, I'd fall off for a little bit and be like, oh yeah, I was saying these affirmations. And one time I even had a jar, and I played a game with myself that every single day, when you see, like, Bart Simpson, he's like writes on the chalkboard the same thing over
Yeah.
and over and over again. I did that for about 30 days, where I can't remember what I wrote because it was just like 20 years ago. But I would write my affirmation, the same affirmation every single day on one strip of paper, and I'd put it in the jar. And then the next day I'd write that one down, put it in the jar. And that was a really cool experiment that I did with myself, and it really helped a lot at the time in my life, whatever I can't even remember what it was now, but I remember doing it. So yeah, like just little things like that I would do off and on. But it really wasn't until I went raw that I really found the power of affirmations, because I tried to go raw for 10 years before I actually went raw. So I learned about raw food in 2004. And then I committed to raw in 2014. So that decade between 2004 and 2014, I was like on and off raw like 100 times. And I did other kinds of diets, like stuff that I'm embarrassed about sometimes, like some extreme stuff I did. But I was young in my 20s, and I was like, oh, this is the way. This is a secret diet that no one knows about, like, and so I'm like, I have to do it. But I always resonated with raw. It made the most sense to me. And every time I'd like want to get healthy, I would be like, well, I'm going to go raw again. And I'd only last like 3 days. I think the longest I went was about 2 months raw in that decade. But yeah, it wasn't until I actually started, when I committed, and I committed because I went vegan. So in 2014, that's when I actually went vegan ethically, and I understood the ethics behind it. And I was like, I can't be part of the animal industry at all. So when I went vegan, I feel like that was strong enough for me to stick to raw and to want to stick to raw. Another thing that happened too is I did the lower fat version, because in those 10 years before, I would always do high fat. I'd be eating like sometimes 2 avocados and handfuls of nuts every day. And I was eating very low calories. I was eating very little fruit, because at the time I was scared of fruit sugar. I thought healthy fats, I had lots of oils. So I was eating really high fat back then. And I felt okay. Like I felt better because I gave up the junk food. But, I wasn't feeling like epic. And so I'd fall off after a couple days, and I'd eat whatever I could get my hands on, because I was like restricting myself too much. So in 2014, when I went vegan, I was like, trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. And I had never tried a low fat version. So at that point, I was like, I'm just going to try the low fat version and see. I quickly learned within a week or two that I had to eat enough, because I was just like, I got to eat more food to get calories in because I'm not eating the fats. I was eating some fat, and, because fats are essential, we need some. But yeah, so that's when I started doing that. And that's when I started doing the affirmations at the same time, that daily I am a raw vegan, because for those 10 years, I couldn't stick to it. So I was like, I have to tell myself every day and just focus one day at a time. I wake up and say, today I'm a raw vegan, and then just do today. Like I just have to get through today. That's it. And I don't have to worry about being raw for a week or raw for a month or raw for a year or raw for a decade. I didn't have to worry about any of that. All I had to do was focus on today. And then I would just wake up the next day and do it all over again, right? And then blink your eyes and like almost 11 years go by. But it really was about focusing one day at a time and just living that affirmation that I was telling myself. Actually, like you said, taking action. Because there's a term out there called self-help junkies. There's people who like, I know it's a funny title, but it's like, it's true, because there's people who will just ingest. They buy books, they watch videos, they watch documentaries, and they know a lot, but they don't take action on what they know. And I can't remember who it was. I really wish I knew who it was. But this person was asked, how many books, like, do you read in a year or something like that? Like, is it like the amount of books that you read to change someone's life? And the person responded with, it's not how many books you read, it's what you implement. Like, you could read one book, and if you implemented everything that you learned from that book into your daily life, you would change more than a person who's read like 100 books and doesn't do much, So implementing it is the key, and living every day the person who you want to become is how you're going to become that person. So every day you say what you want to be. If you want to be a raw vegan, then what do raw vegans do? They eat raw food, like, so do that today. If you want to be um, a professional guitar player, right? What do professional guitar players do every day? They practice their instrument. So what do you got to do today? Even if you suck, practice your instrument, because the more even if you suck at a raw vegan diet, like you don't know what you're doing, start anyways, do it anyways. And every single day you're going to learn a little bit more. You're going to get better at it, because we get better at what we practice every day, right? So if we want to get better at it, just practice, even if you're not confident, because the confidence comes when you do the thing. It doesn't come before. So yeah, lots of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel well, you have been teaching people for quite a few times through Instagram and YouTube. So you have been sort of affirming, while you are teaching others, you're also affirming yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's great. But for me, I just started to share my journey thanks to this raw vegan bundle that we went through. But before that, I was kind of hiding. And when things were going wrong, affirmation is very easy, because you want to get out of this, wherever it's not comfortable. But then for me, when it gets to the comfortable zone, say, oh, yeah, I have achieved what I wanted to do because of this, thanks to affirmation that I was going through and taking action to it. But then life is so easy, and oh, okay, I don't have to do affirmation. So I was wondering if you have gone through that stage of, you've got a wonderful life, you've been doing this for some time, you have a wonderful husband, and say, okay, well, there's nothing to be affirmed. Have you gone through that in the last 11 years?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Um, yeah, I would feel like I've gotten pretty comfortable with my routine and my food choices and all of that. Like, it's my reality now. So I don't feel like I need to continue using the affirmations for that. But what I do feel, I do think that some people need to continue for maintenance, like to maintain what it is that they're living. But also, I find that I'm always looking for a new area of my life to improve. So like right now I'm really working on exercise, and also another thing that I'm working on is like I work a lot. I work a huge amount of time, like sometimes 10, 14, 16 hours a day I'll be working, like, because people don't really realize how much work social media is. When I do a YouTube video that has a lot of B-roll in it, like clips from a vacation or whatever, sometimes like if Nate and I go on a weekend and we want to make a video of it, first of all, it's all the filming that happens during the actual trip. Then we've got like, I've had anywhere from like 400 to 700 clips of video. And when I enter them into my program, it's like 6 hours worth of video that I have to whittle down to like 45 minutes or an hour, right? Max. I try to keep it under an hour. But like each clip is like 5 seconds or 7 seconds. And when you think about a minute, that's a lot of clips for 1 minute. And if you got 45 minutes, that's like multiplied. So it takes a lot of time to get each and every single one of those clips in. Some of those videos take me anywhere from 20 to 40 hours to edit, just one video. So, it's a lot of work. And then behind the scenes, I'm helping people. I'm messaging them back in DMs. Sometimes I'm sending voice memos. I'm trying to help brainstorm with them through their challenges, answer their questions. And I do all of that for free. Like I just go on and I get like hundreds and hundreds of messages every day across all of my platforms. So, and that's including the school app. So, in the school app, I'm like replying to people in there as well. So I spend about 3 to 4 hours a day just responding to people because I don't have an assistant. I do everything myself. So, when you hear from me, it's me who's actually writing the message. So that's something that I pride myself on because I don't want to have like an assistant speaking for me. So there's that. And one thing, like to circle back, I'm trying to find more balance in my life. And that's why I wanted to start painting.
Yes.
I've been doing more walking, trying to do things that don't have anything to do with raw food, really. I know my paintings are raw food, but let's like
It somehow connects back to it.
yeah, I know everything connects back eventually. But yeah, like I want to immerse myself in some activities that aren't just, editing a video or answering messages or whatever, because I love that and that's what I do. That's my passion. But, there's balance to life and I want more balance in my life. So I'm trying to like incorporate more of that kind of stuff. And some of the affirmations that I'm using is like I enjoy balance. And that's something that I tell myself often, not as often as I should probably, but I tell myself that often. I enjoy balance in my life. And that kind of reminds me to go paint or do the walk or go upstairs and lay in the sun. Like I don't do that as often because I'm like, well, I could lay out in the sun or I could edit that video. I'm like, well, I'm going to edit the video. So, I really want to find more balance. I want to add more exercise and get more of that going on in my life.
That's great.
Mhm.
I think when we are going through a hard time or, something that we feel like there needs to be some improvements in our life, that's the perfect
Mhm.
timing that we create our perfect affirmation, right? Like
Mhm.
if I feel lazy, like I love exercise or I love shopping, and it's just those affirmation that we would never hear in outside of maybe this community. I've never heard of it, right? It's just a
Mhm.
few, tiny, gentle reminder. For example, I live in Kyoto, Japan, and we have entered into this rainy season for which lasts for a few weeks. And
Mhm.
in Japan, everyone drags they talk something negative about this rainy season.
Mhm.
Oh, the rainy season started, it gets moldy, la la la. And then when I lived in California, my Ethiopian friend said, "Oh, rain, it's so romantic." And
Ah.
in that instant, my whole perspective, perception of rain changed. I said, "Yeah,
Mm.
it's true. Rain is beautiful.
Mhm.
It gives us fresh air. It keeps us kind of calm, and it's just a tiny reminder that it's just so many ways
Mhm.
to look at one thing, right? And
Mhm.
I do think that the community, right community does it. And this guided affirmation meditation that you released in March, that's part of the bundle, that is so beautifully done.
Aw.
It's just a perfection. I could not think of, improving that in any way.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I
Mm,
put so much into that. And not only do people get the affirmations, and by the way, I love that on the rain thing, because I'm the type of person who always sees the silver lining in stuff. Like, if something's kind of negative or I'm not too much a fan of it, like for example, the heat here in Vegas, it gets
mhm,
hot. And I'm always like, I love the heat. I love it when it's hot. Even though it's uncomfortable, I love it because I'm in it. I might as well love it.
mhm,
Like why be negative over it? And I got a blister on my foot because I've been walking so much and I haven't been walking a lot lately. But walking a lot can make a blister on your foot. So I got a blister on my foot, and sometimes when I walk like longer, it gives me signals. It's like I'm done, like go home, rest up. But I was feeling it the other day, and I was actually grateful for it because I'm grateful for that pain that I'm feeling right now because it means I can walk. It means that
mhm,
I'm out here and enjoying this.
mhm,
So I like embraced it. And I'm the kind of person who does that naturally. But yeah, with the affirmations, I wanted to say that not only do you get the videos
mhm,
where it's the actual affirmation, but you get like this like massive write-up of
mhm,
like so much information. And
mhm,
I also included all of the um affirmations at the end. So if you wanted to scroll down to the bottom of the page and you can read through them as I'm saying them, or you can copy paste if you want to have them
mhm,
and like send an email to yourself or whatever, like if you wanted to have a bunch of affirmations that can help you. I
mhm,
wrote them all down there too, but there's so much information about connecting with the future self,
mhm,
finding ways to enjoy your food prep. It's
mhm,
just like every single day is a different topic.
mhm.
So it's like fully loaded with anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and these materials. So in the plant-based bundle that's going on now at the moment, there's so much information, and Lisa has contributed so much. Nate has contributed, so much as well. And my book Namado is in it, and it's just incredible what you get with just fifty
Mhm.
dollars. And but as Lisa mentioned, that the information, having information, if you don't act on it, right,
Mhm.
it's how they call it, junkie, the you
Self-improvement junkies.
self
Yeah.
improvement junkies, right? And you need to walk the talk, and the best way to do it is actually surround yourself with
Mhm.
people in a community. Go join Lisa's community,
Mhm.
because even if you feel lazy, and if your friends in the community saying that, oh, I've done this and I feel better, then you'll be inspired.
Yes.
And that's so beautiful that you have this super active community with Nate.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. And I wanted to mention that you getting the blister. Uh, I'm just wondering, do you know this company called Vivo Barefoot?
Yes, I have.
Do you
Mhm.
do you use it, or have you
I
tried
don't I do have a pair of shoes that are like they're like what
barefoot?
is it called? Yeah, sort of.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like a mid-grade. They're not quite barefoot, but they're not
Mhm.
like a regular shoe either. And I find those good too, but I think it's just the fact that I've been walking so much. Like I mean, today I walked almost 20,000 steps, which takes 3 hours.
It's
So
amazing.
yeah, and then the day before that, when I was really feeling the blister, I walked 30,000 on Sunday, yesterday. And that took 4.5 hours to do. So, it's a lot of walking, and I know I'm walking a lot. But again, Nate's not here. He's going to be back in about 2 weeks from today.
Mhm.
He's already been gone for a month. He's helping his family, his brother and sister, with their parents' house because there's like all kinds of like probate and all kinds of stuff because his parents passed away last year. So they're dealing with the property and the estate and all this stuff. So he went down there. Plus, he helped one of our other friends move and repaint their whole house. So, he's been
Oh,
doing a lot
that's
of like
so.
family friend kind of stuff down there. And I'm here making sure the cats stay alive
Mm.
and, like just kind of, I'm not really, I wanted to do a lot more like recipe creation, but because I worked on the sushi ebook, I'm kind of like, I want to take a little step back from the recipe creation for
Mm.
now.
Oh yeah, you totally
Yeah,
deserve that. Yeah.
yeah.
But I wanted to
So,
mention, I'm not affiliated with Vivo Barefoot, but that definitely changed my and
mm,
my husband' life. We both love hiking. We love
mm,
walking. And, by the way, I love your hiking videos. And I
oh,
know how much effort that needs to be put in. I just don't know how you do it. And I do think when you're walking for 3 hours or so every day, you are doing the editing at the same time because it's just not possible. Lisa
I
is
know.
getting the work done while she's walking.
Right, I know. You know what I've been doing actually while I'm walking? I'm responding to people with voice memo. So, because I would be already responding to them sitting on the couch or whatever, but now I'm like, well, at least I'm walking and answering at the same time, right? And it's nice too because people get like a voice memo from me, so it's more personal. They're like, "Oh, wow, you voice memoed me." I'm
Yes,
like, "Well, I'm walking, so it's easier to voice than it
that's
is to text." But yeah, you'll just you'll laugh at this. So when Nate left, he's gone for 6 weeks. So he's already done
wow.
four. He's got two more to go as of today. And we made a deal that each of us would film 52 YouTube videos so that we could do 1 year of scheduled videos. I've never done a year of scheduled videos on YouTube, and I've always wanted to. So I've been on YouTube for over a decade, and I've never done consistent videos. Like I'll do a bunch of videos, or I'll do Vlogmas, which is a video a day for the month of December, and I've done that every year, I think, since I started YouTube. But every once in a while I'll post a couple videos or I'll do one video every 3 months or whatever, like I'm really sporadic, or I'll post daily videos when we're doing a bundle.
Mhm.
And I'm just not as consistent over on YouTube, and I want to be. I want to connect with the people over there because there's some people on YouTube who aren't on Instagram and vice versa and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I want to share more on YouTube. So I made a pact with Nate and actually another friend of mine who wanted to do this too for her business. She's a yoga teacher, so she wanted to do yoga videos for her channel. I was like, okay, 52 videos filmed. You don't have to edit them. They just have to be filmed by June 24th. That's when Nate comes home. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I managed within about 10 days, I filmed 52 videos for the weeklies. They're like anywhere between 8 minutes and a half an hour, basically. I also filmed 10 videos for the bundle, which are being released daily on my YouTube right now. And I filmed 5 videos for a collaboration that I'm doing with an animal sanctuary in July. So in total, I filmed in 10 days, I filmed 67 videos.
What?
And it was like, I would go for my 3 hour walk. I would come home. I would paint and eat lunch. And then I would get my hair ready. And I would film for about 3 or 4 hours. And I could get anywhere between like 8 to maybe like 12 videos done in about 3 hours. Then I would eat dinner and then I would, do whatever, like answer people and make posts and stuff until bedtime. And then I'd go to bed, then do the same thing the next day. So every day I was filming like 3 or 4 hours a day. Still got my walk in. I still, was eating, because like it's hard when you're like in a flow to remember to eat. I'm like, oh yeah, it's lunchtime. I got to go eat. But yeah, I filmed 67 videos. So I'm really excited that those are all done. Now I have to edit them all. So that's my next big project. So even like after our video here, I'm going to eat dinner and then I'm going to sit and edit the videos that I do have because I think I've already edited maybe 20 of them. But
Wow.
yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I know, but I haven't really like worked on any new recipes or done any other projects that I want to work on because I'm like so focused on getting these YouTube videos done. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's worth it. And I get kind of I don't want to say obsessed. I wouldn't say that's like the word, but I get really invested into
Mm,
whatever thing I'm doing at the time. So like right now, I'm super invested into YouTube videos. And then once the YouTube videos are done, I'm gonna probably get super invested into the next recipe ebook or whatever. Like when we originally created the school community, in September it'll be a year that we've had the school community. But when it first launched, I was in like fully invested, like building the back end and all this stuff. So like there's always something that I'm fully invested in and it takes up like most
mm,
of the time. But again, it's my passion and I love it and I would do it on my time off. So I might as well just enjoy, doing
mm.
it anyways. But yeah.
That's you are on fire and you have been on fire consistently, and you are one of the rare person that I know
Oh,
who does
thank
it.
you.
And I don't know anyone who's like you. Of course, each one of us are very unique, and
Mhm.
I celebrate who you are.
Oh, thank you.
And one of the action that you mentioned, that when you started raw vegan, no one responded you, and I started I got to know about raw vegan on New Year's Eve of 2003. So my raw vegan journey started in 2004. Around the same time, you got to know about it,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
I do remember that time living in New York. It was like there's like a raw vegan celebrity that you don't, you might get to see them, but you would never get to talk to them, like one
Mhm.
on one. And I really admire you that you took actions to say, I am going to make a change. And you are
Mhm.
so quick. And sometimes I don't want to send you messages because even just to say you are amazing, I say, okay, wait, I don't want to take time from her.
Oh, you can send me a message anytime you want. I love getting messages.
I mean,
But like
you're
I said,
just
I love when anyone messages me. Like I like hearing about, what people are thinking, what they're doing, what raw food they're having, or, if they have a
I,
struggle or whatever. I'm here to answer and I'm here to help. And
it's
I
just
don't mind at all.
I just love it. And
Uh,
one last question maybe for you today is, um, another thing. One thing I notice about you is that you are very kind to others, but at the same time you are kind to yourself. Right? You
mm,
can find many people who are kind, super helpful to others, but I can see that they are harsh on themselves.
mhm,
What were you always like this, or has it changed?
mm.
Was there a shift in your life?
That's a really good question. I feel like I've gone through, the waves of that through my life. There have been times where I was not kind to myself, but many times where I was, even before I was raw. I feel like I was more unkind to myself before I was raw, with my food choices and some other like lifestyle choices. Like sometimes, I mean, I had two jobs for a really long time. I worked at a natural health industry store, like a supplement store. I was a nutritional consultant and I was the shipping receiving manager at the same time as well. And on the side, I had my photography business. So I would go to work 9 to 5 and then come home and then I would work on my business from 5 till 2 or 3 in the morning. And I really worked myself hard and I went through some periods of where I was at the lowest of my self-esteem. Um,
Mm,
I would say like right before I went raw, and even while I was raw, because I was going through some relationship issues, and all of that, like more personal issues than necessarily the raw food. Like the raw food helped me through that
mm,
for sure. But even after I lost all my weight and I was helping people online or whatever, I was at my lowest with how I viewed myself. And that's
mm,
why I say that I didn't feel good enough. And it was a lot to do with like personal issues, like
mm,
that was going through my life at the time. But I felt like I was not good enough. I wasn't a good enough wife. I wasn't a good enough friend. I wasn't a good enough raw vegan. I wasn't a good enough whatever. I was always not good enough at something. Like if I tried or did something, someone would be like, oh, well, what about this? Or you didn't do this or whatever, and I'd always be like kind of like knocked down
Mhm.
because I was trying to be better, and then I wasn't good enough. So that's where it was probably about a year and a half into Raw. I started to really work on believing that I was good enough and knowing that I was worthy and deserving and things like that. So I started to be a lot more kind to myself. And that just has blossomed over the years. And I think that's kind of how I attracted Nate, because I started to believe that I was worthy, and my life had
Mhm.
more meaning than I thought it did, and all that kind of stuff. Like, even if I was helping people, and even if I was eating raw food, it's still like those core beliefs that you believe about yourself are so challenging to get over when the rest of the world reflects what you believe, right? If you believe that you're not good enough, and then someone says something that makes you reinforce that belief, it becomes stronger, and you believe it even deeper. So it was a long time. It was probably a good year and a half of really working on like believing that I was more worthy. And yeah, and over time it's changed a lot, and I feel so much more comfortable in who I am, in my body, in the aging, going through perimenopause, and all of this stuff. Like, my body is going to change, and I'm changing, and I have to have grace with myself, compassion, and caring, investing that time into myself more. That's why I'm focusing more on balance right now, because that's what I need in my life. But yeah, it's kind of ebbs and flows, but lately it's been more like this. More kindness towards myself. And that's another thing that we do every single Sunday, is what we call self-care Sunday. So it's our day off. So I still answer messages on Sunday. I mean, come on. I can't be away from it. But unless we go off grid, if we go off grid, I have no internet, so I can't even check. But I do. Or I'm filming. There's always some kind of work that's going on Sunday. But for self-care Sunday, we make it a day off. We don't book any calls unless there's a bundle or an event or something like that. Then, there's a few exceptions here and there, but we don't book any coaching calls or any things like that on Sunday. Sunday is our like sacred day together, our self-care Sunday, where we prepare our favorite food. So like, we prepare on Friday night, we'll make our wraps so they're ready for Sunday. And then we choose a hike. We go for our hike. We eat our wraps on our hike. We come home. We make our favorite salad for dinner. Right now it's like a tahini dill style, like tahini lemon dill kind of a thing. And we'll watch a movie or our favorite show, and then we go up in the hot tub, and and then I do like a full on skincare routine where it's like, I do all of the things, like an everything skincare, the face yoga and everything. And then we like to do yoga at night as well to stretch before bed. But those Sundays are sacred, and we've really built those specifically because we like to hike every weekend. So we've turned it into like a whole day affair where we're just like, let's go hiking, let's do all our favorite things on Sunday, because why not, right? We love ourselves. So that's something that we've implemented as well, is those self-care Sundays, because we are important, and everyone watching is important. Like, taking the time to put yourself first. I remember listening to Mel Robbins, and she said something. She was like, if you don't put yourself first, you teach everyone else that you come second. I was like, dang, that's a hard one, right? Like,
Yeah.
we have to put ourselves first, and people feel like you're selfish if you put yourself first, or you're selfish if you take a day off, or you're selfish if you turn off your phone and put it on airplane mode because you should be available 24/7, but it's not. When you are putting yourself first, it's selfless. Because if you put yourself up and first, and you fill your cup up first, then you are of more service to others, to your family, to your friends, to your community, to your job. Like, we have to fill ourselves up first so we can be of more service to others. And but you can't do it when you're like, cup is like a quarter full and you're running on empty, because you're trying to please everybody or do everything, and you're not taking time for yourself because you feel it's selfish. But that's taking away what you can give to everybody else. So it's not selfish to take time for
So
yourself.
so important. I am million
Mhm.
times nicer person when I take care of myself first,
Yeah.
and I think my husband see that all the time. And yeah,
Hmm.
I've noticed that it's so important to take care of myself, because by default, being a woman here in Japan, especially, we are told to, take care of others. And I've seen my mother suffer through it. I mean, she was available for everyone at first. And, she was, she was a good example for me to take care of myself first. Then I have so much energy to give out. It's not superficial, nice. I truly, I'm fully energized and truly want to help others. So thank you so much, Lisa. I mean, you are on fire, and I cannot thank you enough to be my best friend, even though you didn't know me for all these years. You made my Robin lifestyle so much fun, so much doable. And I love all your recipes. And I'm sure that everyone else in this community appreciates you. And, if anyone has not gone through this 30-day affirmation meditation, you are going to love this. Get the bundle from Lissa's link, or it could be on my Instagram. We have it in our link. That's, you just click, and very easy to purchase, and you would definitely not regret it. So much information. But first, go to Lissa's guided meditation. That's just the start.
Oh, right. Get the mindset right first.
Yes.
And then, everything else is easier.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Lissa, for your time. I truly appreciate for being available and being the love to the community. And I'm really excited to connect with you again. And your the YouTube coming up. I'm like, oh my God, what's more from Lissa?
Right. I know weekly videos are going to be coming out every Sunday after the bundle for a whole year. So
I cannot wait.
it's going to be cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't see if anyone has messaged me. This is my first time hosting from, Lissa is my first Instagram live, which somehow I failed, and she picked me up and she did it for me. And now this platform that my lovely husband put so that I can stream on YouTube. So thank you so much for staying in tune, and thanks again, Lissa.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love you. And like I said, message me anytime you want.
Love it. Love it.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thanks everybody
Thank you.
for watching.
Thanks everyone. Bye.